Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today is what's the right word? Our Sunday Journey Through Life episode. And I thought today I would talk about something a little more sensitive than the happy why I love being a military wife segment. This one is going to be the hardships I went through being a single mother and the separation and raising two kids and all of that. So hopefully you like the video and subscribe and like and hit the notification bell so you can see more of these. I guess it's a series, to be honest. I'm going to every Sunday, whether it be me or the kids. Maddie suggested that she might be doing a follow me around university, the day in the life of a university student, which I think is a great idea. So those are the kind of things that we're going to be doing, you know, more of a in-depth look. And in my opinion, I'm doing today's video and I'm going to disclose that right off the bat, because if I can help somebody else going through the same thing that I went through many years ago, then that's the whole point of these videos, to help people, to maybe help myself release it, release the pain, release the energy, the negativeness that I feel about certain things that have happened in my life. So like I said, today is about being a single mother. My son is now 23 and my daughter's 26. And when I was 22, I got married. And it was to a really traditional Ukrainian boy, very cultural, very Catholic, and I was very non-Catholic. I was still Christian, but not Catholic. He wasn't even Catholic, actually. He was like an Orthodox type. Sorry about that. Had to pause for 2 seconds. Okay. I was going on about my daughter being 23. So at 22, I got married, and his family was not nice at the wedding, actually. Our wedding was like 400 people, huge wedding. And they were not very nice to my family and I, calling me scum. It was terrible. Because my mother had been divorced, and that was, I guess, in her opinion, very no. And I guess I should have seen the writing on the wall on that day. But nevertheless, went on. When I was 24, I had a baby. And our marriage was always kind of a bit rocky because he would always side with his family no matter what they said. If they called me stupid or ugly or a bad mother or anything, stupid for breastfeeding, stupid for this, stupid for using cloth diapers, for trying to protect the environment. It was just, I think really they were just trying to find any reason to not like me. It did sort of gradually, you know, put a huge, you know, separation between the marriage and us, and progressively got worse. And of course, what's the best solution to fixing a bad marriage? Have another baby. Why not? So although things were really bad, they were not good. Not in an aggressive way, more in a emotionally, you know, I was being emotionally traumatized on a regular basis by him, his family. It was terrible. While I was pregnant, I was accused of sleeping around and the baby not being his, and it was just one big disaster after another. So I had the baby and he was never home, like never. As a matter of fact, our first child, he's never changed a diaper. He's kind of proud of that, actually. He's never changed a pee diaper, never changed a poo diaper, but because he kept getting laid off, I had to go and get a job. So while I was at work, he wouldn't change the children's bomb, well, my daughter's bomb. So I had to actually take her to my mother's house for babysitting because he obviously couldn't do it himself. And that was another huge problem. So when we had our son, he automatically went to my mother's with my daughter who, so I was 27. So she was around 3 when he was born, or 2, nearly 3. So I have a newborn, a 3-year-old, and he's never there. And I mean, like, when I say never, I mean never. And it got worse and worse and worse to the point where I'm like, I may as well be a single mother because I'm doing it by myself anyway. So I told him, you know, this is ridiculous. You're never home. We went to a Christmas dance. This is just an example of how bad things were. And I was 5 months pregnant. And the first dance started. He proceeded to go over and dance with some girl and never came back the entire night. Stayed with her the entire night, talking, dancing at a totally different table, and left me sitting there all night. It was bad. So finally, I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. This is unfair to me, to the children. My mother is babysitting them when I work, and other than that, I'm taking care of them. It's just not working at all. And then I find out that that girl, that special, beautiful, wonderful girl that, I don't know, somehow she's his girlfriend. And somehow they're having a baby. And I'm still his wife. I have a newborn baby, 2 months old. I believe he was 2 months old. My daughter's now 3. So I have a 2-month-old and a 3-year-old. And I find him off having another baby with another girl. It's all good. And I'm now a single mother. Now, when he took off, he abandoned me with no money. Like, he didn't start giving me child support or any kind of money. I had to go and get a second job. So I had a job, then I got a second job. My mother or my friends or whoever would take care of the kids so that I could continue to work, because we owned a house and there was a mortgage on that house. And to be honest with you, I didn't want to lose the house. I wanted to, you know, have a house for my kids to grow up in, and, you know, the backyard and the swing set and the nice neighborhood and the decent schools. And I wanted all of that for my kids. So I really fought hard to keep that. And it was really, really not easy, because I did the jobs where I double tapped, where Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I worked double shifts. So 8 hours at one job, 8 hours at another job. So 16-hour days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then I would work a 4-hour shift during the week, and that's it. I would stay home all week long with the kids. So to them, I didn't really work that much, because at the very, very beginning, their dad did take them. He's seen them weekly, whatever, you know. And then, Maddie's talking to the dog in the background. Then, that progressively got less and less and less. His family still harassed me, though. It was terrible, not a good situation. The whole thing was disgusting. They would come into the house and take things, take the kids' stuff. When the kids would go visit, I would send them with clothes and they would keep them. Even though he only seen the kids 4 days a month, he would continuously keep their clothes, even if I bought them. He would just keep them and send them back in one old outfit. So I obviously started sending them in one old outfit. You know, it was all petty and it was all ridiculous. And it got harder and harder and harder. And I really, there were times where I didn't know what to do. But you know what? I kept going. I kept doing whatever I could to take care of these kids, to keep the mortgage. You know, we didn't have cable. We didn't have cell phones back then. There was no internet or anything. So I didn't have to worry about that. But I had an old TV. He took a lot of the stuff. So, you know, but I made it. My kids had nice things. I didn't buy myself anything. I sacrificed everything for them. And eventually, when my son was 2, I met a really great guy who, all of a sudden, he didn't care that I had kids, although every time I dated somebody, they seemed to like me a lot. But the moment they find out you have kids, it's like, nah, nope, not somebody else's kids, daddy. No, thank you. Not going to happen. I like you. I do not want to have a girlfriend with kids. So that was the end of every relationship, every date. It just continuously happened like that. Even dudes that had kids, pointing a thing at you, they would have kids of their own. And they'd be like, I don't want to date a girl with kids. It's like, dude, you have kids. You're divorced. Yeah, but I don't want more kids. Oh, okay, that's just so ridiculous. I can't even begin to tell you. You expect some girl who doesn't have kids, but you don't want any more, to somehow be okay with the fact that she has to help you raise your kids, but you're not willing to have any with her. And if she had kids, you wouldn't be with her. It's so double standard, it's ridiculous, but happened a lot. So, you know, I met this guy, and he was willing to accept my kids and raise them, and my ex-husband was progressively, and it got down to one weekend a month, but he canceled those a lot. No holidays. It was so bad that he neglected them so bad that when he got married, he didn't have them there because they weren't part of his wedding. Now, did I tell you that he had a baby really soon after we broke up? Yes, him and his girlfriend had a baby. And once that baby came, my kids basically didn't exist. And then we started noticing that he would take them only when other people would mention, how come we haven't seen your kids lately? Be like, well, my friends have noticed they haven't seen the kids, so I'm going to bring them to this activity, this skating party or whatever. And that happened a couple times a year. Eventually that petered out. And my kids haven't seen him in 15 years, something like that, 10, 12, 13, a long time. They haven't seen him. He doesn't talk to them. He doesn't call them. He said that because they didn't send him Father's Day presents when they were 10 and 11 and 8, that they didn't put any effort in, so why should he? Yeah, he's a great guy, right? Sounds like a real winner. I really should have noticed, but nevertheless, I got 2 beautiful children that I adore. You guys have met Mac. Mackenzie, he is one of those 2. You haven't met the older one. She is camera shy. So basically, I'm this single mother trying to make ends meet. Biological father, asshole. New boyfriend, awesome. But I didn't let him meet my kids at first. I didn't let anybody meet my kids, ever. He is the only one. And things got much better. So I guess the moral of the story at the end of the day is, even if you find yourself as a single mother making bills, you know, you do need to protect yourself, though. Like I said, I was paying that mortgage. He tried to, when the divorce was final, he wanted half of what the house was worth to sell. So there was like $5,000 each or something invested into the house that we would get if we sold it as is at the time. And I said, that's not fair. For 5 years, I paid the mortgage in full and the land taxes. I paid everything. And at that point in time, my boyfriend and I had been living together for a couple years, so he had also been paying into this house. And I had a good judge who determined that he would have to pay me every month that I paid the mortgage. He would have to pay me half of that amount. And so this is 5 years worth of half the mortgage and half the land taxes in order for him to qualify. So he owed me, I think it was $50,000 or $40,000, and he would get 5 if we sold. So if we sold, he would get 5, and then I would get $35,000. Right? So he's like, can I sign the house over to you? And I shouldn't have said yes, kind of dumb, but I said yes. So, you know, you do need to stand up for yourself. You do need to protect yourself, because some of these ex-wives and ex-husbands, they're not nice. They don't give a crap about their kids. They don't care about anything but themselves. You know, he's like, I was going to take them to Disneyland, but you wouldn't accept no child support for a year, because why should I pay for them to go to Disneyland and pay child support? That's not fair. Like, dude was like totally, I'm like, I took them to Disneyland. My husband and I, now he's my husband, at that, we got married. I'm like, we took them to Disneyland and we didn't exactly charge you any money for it. That's not the same. I'm like, dude, you are whack. So, men and women out there, protect yourselves. That's the moral of this story. If, you know, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. Dude was a bad father. I should have known. Get out as soon as you can. Get as much advice, as much help as you can, and worry about the kids. The kids at the end of the day are all that matter, truthfully. You matter a little too. You matter. But the kids really matter, and you need to protect them above all. So it's okay to get out. It's okay to be a single parent. I made it work in a big city where everything was expensive, and I had to get, sometimes at one point I had 3 jobs. I had to do what I had to do to support the family, support the kids, to make sure that their life continued to be as good as it had been before. So, don't let them get away with anything. Don't let them walk away and be like, haha, I get to do whatever I want. If they want to be a shitty dad, let them be a shitty dad. Just don't let them be a shitty dad in front of your kids. Just say, you know what? Don't ask them to keep coming, because if they don't want to, they don't want to. They're not going to be honest. So stay strong. Be strong for the kids, for yourself. I guess that's all I got to say about that. The trials of being a single parent. So, just go for it. Just, if you're scared, leave me a message. I'll talk to you about it. I'll give you encouragement. There's a lot of things out there that can help. Back when I wasn't as good, but I should have taken advantage of a lot of helpful places and communities and, different internet communities that are helpful, giving advice, maybe even helping in other ways. So take advantage. Take care of yourself, your kids, be happy, have a good life. Till next time, bye.